Ever imagine like a bleak industrial moon,
Oh.
circling a giant gas planet?
Yeah.
That's the setting for Back for Blood, this futuristic action thriller.
Oh, wow.
It sounds absolutely wild.
Yeah.
You sent over a ton of cool stuff. Film treatments, budgets, even the director's LinkedIn. So today, we're diving deep into the story behind this movie and the filmmaker who's making it happen.
I think what immediately grabs me is just how this setting kind of sets the mood right off the bat.
Right.
Like it's isolated, dangerous, a world unlike ours.
Yeah.
The setting itself is almost like a character.
Okay, let's break it down.
Okay.
First up, Back for Blood itself.
Okay.
The logline is a total hook. A criminal fresh out of prison, more fueled by revenge than actual skills,
Oh, wow.
is determined to get back what was stolen from them.
It's that classic, wronged man seeks justice story,
Yeah.
but with a futuristic twist.
Yes.
The comparisons to Payback and Taken you mentioned are spot on.
Right.
A gritty, action-packed revenge story with a relentless protagonist.
Exactly. And this protagonist, Mike Finn,
Yeah.
is described as an ex-con with a massive chip on his shoulder.
Okay.
Picture swagger mixed with a whole lot of anger.
Oh, yeah.
The kind of guy who's been through it all and is ready to settle the score no matter what.
He's driven by this sense of betrayal, especially given the emphasis on how everyone lies in this world, particularly when money's involved.
Oh, interesting.
It creates an interesting question.
Yeah.
Can someone like Mike Finn, with all his determination, navigate a world where trust is a liability?
Right. Now, here's where things get really interesting, the setting.
Okay.
The movie unfolds on this industrialized moon, described as a massive manufacturing site with zero sense of beauty.
Oh, wow.
Think colossal, bland structures, endless concrete,
Wow.
an atmosphere that just screams unforgiving.
It's like they took the worst aspects of industrialization and cranked them up.
Wow.
Being on a moon further emphasizes that feeling of isolation,
Yeah.
trapped in this harsh utilitarian environment with no escape.
But there's a fascinating contrast, too, right?
Yeah.
Because you also sent over a description of this rough green landscape beyond the city
Yeah.
with these oddly serene farming towers.
Yes, that contrast is key.
Okay.
It suggests a world where even nature has been harnessed and manipulated for efficiency.
Wow.
Those calm, curved towers are almost eerie in how they clash with the harshness of the city.
And we can't forget the themes at play.
Yeah.
Betrayal, survival, and even a hint of mystery surrounding a captivating woman.
Sure.
So we've got action, suspense, and maybe even a dash of romance thrown in.
It's a powerful mix, that's for sure.
Gosh.
And that captivating woman, described as a femme fatale, adds this layer of intrigue.
Right.
In this setting, it raises questions about power manipulation.
Yes.
And who's really in control.
Okay, let's shift gears and go behind the scenes because the
Yeah.
filmmaker himself is quite a character.
Okay.
Santiago Manes Moreno,
Yeah.
the director. His LinkedIn profile paints him as a total globetrotter,
Wow.
having worked everywhere from the jungles of Brazil to the skyscrapers of Hong Kong.
He's not just a director, he's an international entrepreneur.
Right.
Leading several film-related companies,
Oh, wow.
including 7ONE7 Films and 717 Asia.
Oh, wow.
His career path shows someone who thrives on pushing boundaries, both geographically and creatively.
And did you catch that quote from Joel Silver?
Oh, yeah.
He called Santiago a talented guy that never sleeps,
Wow.
back when they were both at the AFI.
That speaks volumes about his drive and work ethic.
Right.
It seems he's always hustling,
Yeah.
always juggling multiple projects.
Speaking of projects, Back for Blood isn't his only film.
Okay.
He wrote and produced Long Gone Heroes,
I've heard of that.
which I definitely need to check out.
Yeah.
And he's got another intriguing movie in the works, a romantic thriller titled An Elephant Journey, set in Spain and Europe.
What's fascinating is the diversity of his filmography, action thrillers, romantic dramas, even commercial work.
Wow.
It suggests a real adaptability and willingness to experiment with different genres.
And get this, his motto is never surrender.
Oh, wow.
Apparently he got that from his mentor, the legendary screenwriter, John Milius.
Talk about an inspiring lineage.
Right.
That motto reveals a lot about his personality. Resilience, a refusal to give up,
Yes.
even when facing challenges. It makes you wonder how much of that never surrender attitude will be reflected in the characters and story of Back for Blood.
Right. Now, before we get into the cast and crew, there's something else that caught my eye. Financing and budgets.
Okay.
You included a budget estimate for a film called Tatiana's Project.
Right.
It's not directly related to Back for Blood, but it offers a glimpse into the often complicated world of film financing.
Katiana's project is a fascinating case study.
Yeah.
The initial budget is roughly $26.6 million.
Okay.
But after factoring in tax credits, the true cost drops to $13.3 million.
That's a huge difference.
I like a massive difference.
It's amazing how much of an impact tax incentives can have. And the way Tatiana's project is being financed is a multi-layered approach. Bridge loans, pre-sales, tax credits, equity investment. It's like a financial puzzle that has to be solved before cameras even roll.
It highlights how filmmaking is as much a business as it is an art form.
Right.
And for independent filmmakers like Santiago Manes Moreno,
Yes.
navigating these financial complexities is key to getting their stories told.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Okay, now let's talk about the incredible talent involved in Back 4 Blood.
Sure.
Leading the cast is Wesley Snipes,
Oh, wow.
an action icon known for Blade and The Expendables. And joining him is Maggie Q,
Okay.
who's made a name for herself in action films like The Protégé and Live Free or Die Hard.
That pairing promises high-octane thrills.
Right.
And the supporting cast is equally impressive. Andy Garcia, Josh Hutcherson, and Lee Sung-kyung.
Wow.
A popular Korean actress, it's a diverse mix of seasoned veterans and rising stars,
Yeah.
adding another layer of intrigue.
Totally. And the crew behind the camera is just as impressive.
Okay.
Mark G. Mathis, who produced Precious,
I know that one.
is on board as a producer. That film won 2 Oscars.
His involvement brings a certain prestige to the project.
Right.
And having Javier Aguirre-Zarob,
Yes.
the cinematographer behind Thor, Ragnarok, and the others,
I love those movies.
is a major win.
Yeah.
His visual style is so distinctive and atmospheric.
And don't forget Matthew Dean Russell as the visual effects producer.
Oh, right.
His credits include Die Hard 4 and Captain America, Civil War. We can expect some epic action sequences and mind-blowing visuals.
Absolutely. With a team like this, it's clear they're aiming for high production value and a cinematic experience that's both thrilling and visually stunning.
So but before we move on, let's connect the dots here.
Okay.
We have a movie set in a technologically transformed world.
Yeah.
A moon repurposed for industry. We have a protagonist driven by a personal quest for justice for revenge.
Okay.
And we have a filmmaking team with an international, multifaceted approach to storytelling and financing.
It's fascinating how these elements weave together. It's like a reflection of our own world.
Right. The impact of technology, the pursuit of justice, and the
Yeah.
increasingly global nature of the film industry.
Exactly. And the filmmaker himself, Santiago Manes Moreno, embodies that global entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah.
It's intriguing to think how his experiences working across continents, battling for funding,
Right.
and living by that never surrender motto will shape the final film.
It's a story unfolding both on screen and behind the scenes. And what we've uncovered so far only makes me more intrigued to see how Back 4 Blood comes together.
Me too. Okay, before we wrap up part 1 of this deep dive, there's one more piece of information about Santiago Manes Moreno that I think you'll find really interesting.
It's okay.
It involves another film project of his and provides a glimpse into the financial strategies used to bring these movies to life. Remember An Elephant Journey, that romantic thriller set in Spain and Europe that Santiago's also working on?
Yeah.
Well tucked away in those budget estimates you sent? There's a whole section on how they plan to finance it, and get this. They're projecting a budget of $25 million for that film. That's a substantial budget, especially for a romantic thriller.
Right.
It suggests they're aiming for a certain level of production value, maybe even some epic locations or elaborate set pieces.
Exactly. And the source material breaks down their financing strategy by territory, English-speaking markets. Europe, Asia. It's a global game trying to secure funding from different regions.
That's becoming more and more common in the film industry.
Yeah.
Especially for independent productions. It's about spreading the risk, tapping into diverse markets, and potentially reaching a wider audience.
And check this out for the Asian market. They're specifically targeting South Korea, China, Japan, places where Santiago already has connections through 717 Asia.
It makes perfect sense. He's leveraging his existing network, his understanding of those markets to secure funding and potentially distribution deals. It's a strategic move that could pay off big time.
Right, okay, so we've talked about the movie, the filmmaker, the financing. But what about the potential impact of this futuristic dystopian setting, this industrialized moon with its stark landscapes and lack of humanity, could be interpreted as a commentary on our own society's trajectory?
It definitely raises questions about the consequences of unchecked industrialization, the dehumanizing effects of technology, and the potential for a future where profit and efficiency trump compassion and sustainability.
It makes you wonder, is Back 4 Blood just an action thriller? Or is it a cautionary tale about the choices we're making as a society?
It's both.
Maybe it's both.
It's likely a blend of both, and that's what makes it so compelling. It's a film that operates on multiple levels, offering thrills and entertainment, while also inviting us to consider the bigger picture.
Exactly, and that's the beauty of a deep dive like this. We're not just summarizing information, we're analyzing it, questioning it, and connecting it to broader themes and ideas.
It's about fostering critical thinking, recognizing that even seemingly straightforward entertainment can be rich with layers of meaning.
So we've covered a lot of ground, from the gritty details of Back for Blood to the global journey of its filmmaker. But here's the question I keep coming back to, and it's one for you to ponder as well. How will Santiago Manes Moreno's unique journey, his diverse career, his never-surrender attitude, shape the final product?
It's like we've laid out all these pieces on the table, a revenge-driven plot, a visually stunning setting, and a filmmaker who's a global citizen. The big question is, what kind of picture will they form when put together?
Right. Will those international experiences, the constant hustle, the fight for funding, will they bleed into the film itself? Will we see it in the visual style, the characters, the pacing of the story?
Think about those connections he's made across continents, his experience blending genres. Could that translate to unexpected depth to Mike Finn's revenge quest?
Yeah.
It's definitely something to watch for.
Absolutely. So as we wait for Back for Blood, it's not just about another action movie hitting the screen. It's about watching for those subtle fingerprints, those echoes of the filmmaker's own story woven into the fabric of the film.
And it reminds us that even in a genre like action thrillers, there's room for depth, for those layers of meaning that stick with you long after the credits roll.
Well said. So there you have it, our deep dive into Back for Blood. We've explored the story, the people, the business, and hopefully sparked some interesting questions for you to consider as you await its release.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? We've got this revenge-driven story set against a backdrop that feels both familiar and alien.
Right.
And then you factor in Santiago's own journey, his global perspective, his knack for blending genres, his unwavering determination. How will that all come together on screen?
Exactly. Will we see those international influences in the form's visuals and the way the characters interact?
Yeah.
Will that never-surrender attitude manifest in Mike Finn's relentless quest for revenge?
It's hard to say for sure, but it's certainly something to watch for.
Yeah.
Santiago's clearly not afraid to take risks and push boundaries, both creatively and geographically. That fearlessness could translate into some truly unexpected moments in the film.
Right. It's like, on the surface, we have this action-packed thriller about a guy trying to get back what was stolen from him.
Yeah.
But underneath, there's this potential for deeper exploration.
Right.
About the choices we make, the consequences of our actions, and maybe even a commentary on the direction our own society is headed.
And that's what makes this so exciting. Back for Blood could be more than just a popcorn flick.
Right.
It could be a film that stays with you, prompts you to think about the bigger picture, and maybe even challenges your own perspective.
Absolutely. So as we wait for Back for Blood to hit theaters, it's not just about the anticipation of a thrilling ride.
Right.
It's about watching for those subtle layers, those fingerprints of the filmmaker's own experiences woven into the story.
It's like a puzzle, right?
Yes.
We have all the pieces, a gritty, action-packed plot, a visually striking setting, a team of talented actors and filmmakers, and this fascinating director with a truly global perspective. Now we get to see how it all comes together, how those pieces create a complete picture.
Exactly. And honestly, that's one of the coolest things about movies.
Yeah.
They can entertain, provoke thought, and even offer a glimpse into the mind of the filmmaker.
Right.
And with Back for Blood, it seems like we're in for quite a ride.
I couldn't agree more. This deep dive has definitely piqued my curiosity.
Yeah.
And I'm even more eager to see how Santiago Manes Moreno brings this story to life.
Me too.
Yeah.
And there you have it. Our deep dive into Back for Blood.
Great.
We've explored the story, the players, the business side of things, and hopefully we've sparked some interesting questions for you to consider as we await the film's release.